Well, yesterday I had the no start situation, and I also discovered that I had a leak, a water leak in the worst possible place. It's on the water neck fitting that's on the back of the head that is almost inaccessible. So I have two options there. One is to pull the head in order to work on it and see what's going on. The second is to pull the whole engine, not completely out, but slightly out enough to be able to get to that and figure out what's going on. So that's going to be further down the line. I'm not ready to work on that right now. So one thing I did notice as far as the no start is that I looked at the data log from the start and the no start. And what I noticed is that I was not getting a reading on the manifold air pressure. So I think either I have it plumbed into the wrong place, or the line is plugged, or it's not plugged into the ECU. But I'm going to just check on that today just to see what's going on, and to see if that changes anything. So that's this is going to be a short one, not too much to do. So, the problem is, as I said, that I'm not seeing manifold air pressure in my data logs. So, I don't know if the line is plugged or if the passage that I've selected to show or to get that signal is blocked. So, I plugged in a hose here. Plugged in this hose to that port, and I'm going to blow into it and see if it registers on the or exit into the intake manifold. So here we go. So it is passing through, but that's no guarantee that it is actually doing what it's supposed to do. So let's try another port. There's one that's right here. And of course, it's not really visible, but there's one that's right here that leads into just behind the throttle body. So let's try that one and see what we get. All right. Just about the same. So then I have to guess that I should be seeing vacuum on any of those ports. So maybe the problem is that it's not hooked up onto the engine computer. So let's go ahead and hook that back up. Then we'll check the engine computer and see if that is plugged in. Okay, so we're going inside the car now to see if my pressure sensor is hooked up inside the car. That's the only other thing that could be wrong. So let's go ahead and do that.
Damn!
All right. That is the hose that's coming in from the engine compartment right there. And it seems to be hooked up to the computer. I don't see any reason why, unless there's a break in the line. But it looks like it's hooked up. So if it is hooked up, I don't know what the problem is, why I'm not reading manifold pressure. So let's, oh yeah, that did break. Anyway, so let's see what else we can find out. Do a little diagnosis. Okay, a quick check, and I see where the problem is. This is the hose for the signal to the ECU right here. Notice it's not connected to anything. I've got all of these other hoses here, blah blah blah, all of these other hoses here. This one's hooked up to the let's stop you from doing that. This one's hooked up to the let me get a better look at that. This is hooked up to the fuel rail, the regulator on the fuel rail. This is the pressure return, the adjustable fuel pressure regulator here. This is hooking up to the manifold here, and this goes down to the blow-off valve down here. But none of them are sending signal to the ECU. So that's what the root problem is. So I need to get that fixed, and we shall be in business as far as manifold pressure. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this line here use this signal source. Wait a minute, that won't work. That won't work. That won't work. Okay, I got it figured out. I hope. Got it. Coming from the blow-off valve. Probably need to find a better routing for that. But over to this source here. This source is going to a T. One branches off to another T, The one side goes to the fuel rail, and the other side goes to the adjustable fuel pressure regulator. And then that line also feeds the ECU. So now I should see manifold pressure. We'll see if that has any impact on start. Okay, let's just for shits and giggles, let's see if it'll register anything. Okay, here we are back again trying to get this thing started. I have a clue that I'm following up on today to try and see if it's going to make any difference. But basically, let's take a look here. The last time out, I was dealing with getting these vacuum hoses plumbed in. Yeah, it's a bit of a kludge, but I'll fix that in another iteration. But the vacuum hoses to go to the ECU, to go to the adjustable fuel pressure regulator, and to go to the fuel damper on the rail. So I got that plumbed in, but one thing I noticed is that, I hope you can see this little dial here. That's on the fuel pressure regulator. And as you can see, it's showing 0 pressure in the fuel rail. So my thought is that the fuel pump is not working. It's either not coming on when the ECU turns on. So the fuel pump is supposed to come on when the engine, or when the key is in a key on condition. The fuel pump is supposed to come on, and I would expect to see fuel pressure here. As a matter of fact, I would expect to see some residual pressure in the fuel rail, even with the engine powered off. So I'm guessing, and I'm only guessing at this point, that either the fuel pump is not powering on, or it's powering on and the fuel pressure regulator is not doing its thing, or something. So that's where I'm going today. I've got some fuses. I've got some starting fluid. I've got let me turn this off. I've got fuses. I've got starting fluid. I've got a battery charger on the battery, so I can keep turning it over. Hoping that I'll either find a blown fuse, a disconnected fuel pump, something. So I'm reaching for straws now. But that's all I got at this point, is straws to reach at. So that's where I'm going today. We'll see what the deal is, actually. Hopefully at least I'll get it to fire like it did before I had things together. So let's give this a shot. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check and see if I actually have the fuel pump plugged in. It's close quarters in here. And this is the connector for the fuel pump. And it does look like it is plugged in. So that's one thing down. Now next, I'm gonna check some fuses and see if I have a blown fuse. So hold on for that. Okay, let's check some fuses. I'm not sure exactly which one is the fuel pump. So I'll just check them all. There. So this will beep when I have continuity. So let's start here. Good. 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 Is that one blown? Nope, that's good. 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 So I don't have a blown fuse in any of these. So whatever the problem is, it's not with the fuel pump. So I obviously have fuel flow. The question is, where is it going? Okay, where's my goddamn wrench? All right, this is the fuel line that runs from that fitting up to the fuel rail. I know that I have fuel flowing here. Boy, do I. But what's happening between that and the fuel rail? We're soon to find out. Here we go. I'm not seeing oil pressure. It's not there. But it ran. Now, I don't know if I'm not seeing oil pressure because I don't have continuity on the oil pressure switch, or if I just don't have oil pressure. But I'm running, which is what I needed to see. It runs, it's alive, but I have a major problem. This fuel line, this is the fuel line. Generally, it runs down underneath here, underneath the intake manifold, and over to the fuel feed line. I have it up here, and it may not be easy to see, but this line is badly kinked. I would suspect that any minute that line will fail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this fuel line that I have over here. Replace this fuel line. It runs with some AN fittings and get rid of this. So I got to do that before I can put it on the road, but I'm a long way from putting it on the road. My main thing at this point is getting it to work right. So my second biggest problem is down there, buried down there. Here, it's hard to see, but down there I have a leak in the water neck that feeds the radiator, and that is virtually impossible to reach from the engine being in the car. So unfortunately, what I'm going to have to do is lift the entire engine up enough. Okay, come on, get down there. Lift the entire engine up enough to be able to get to that. My options are to take the head off the engine, which I don't want to do, or to lift the whole thing out in order to reseal that water neck. Either way is a pain in the butt. I think taking the engine out is the least problematic. So that's what I'm going to do. That's next on the hit parade. So, to reiterate, at least now I have an engine that will actually run, and that's a good thing. So, next thing, solve that water leak, get that fuel line fixed, button up some other things, and we're good to go.